They had very clear aspirations. They wanted this to be a house of hoops. They wanted people in their seat, and then they wanted a world-class venue with technology and software.
I wanted to make sure the thing was totally functional. It had to be something that would really enhance the game for us.
Halo is the largest 4K, full UHD, double-sided LED board ever built. It's more than 233 million pixels, and rolled out flat, it's 3 times the length of the Hollywood side.
It's got a wow factor to it that it's undeniable. People are blown away by it. You'll just watch them kind of come through the VOMs and look up and see the halo, and it's wow.
This thing is massive. It's probably one of the largest indoor LED projects in the world.
There was lots of intricate systems that all had to play together and come together in order to make this happen.
Let's go check it out. I'm Luke Tingle with Daktronics. I'm a project executive, and I've been with Daktronics for over 18 years now. So I got involved with our sales team at the beginning, and I think the initial conversation started early as 2019. And then we got on board as a partner with the Clippers in 2020, almost 3 years before we started on site. There was conversations, with the architect and the Clippers team on what they wanted, and there was, this idea of the halo. And if it wasn't the halo, it was more of a traditional center hung. So the initial conversations, they were leaning towards a halo, but still considering a center hung that you would see in a typical NBA or NHL arena.
We kind of went back and forth a little bit, and then we ended up kind of deciding on the double halo just for the wow factor and just the uniqueness of the whole thing.
It was something like I had never seen before. I know we've done something somewhat similar in a stadium, but having this in an arena, it was just mind-boggling to me.
So there was a lot of conversations on how do you design that, and then how do you fit that into construction so it's constructible? Do we make it angled down? And doing that in a curved circular is challenging. You start talking about sight lines, pixel pitches, how do we make sure we achieve 4K and make sure it's tall enough? All that aside, which are stuff you had to talk through, is then you get the hoisted ends.
There's a ton of different challenges with this project. Probably one of the bigger challenges was, one, the sheer size. I mean, this thing is massive.
So if you can imagine drawing an ellipse and then breaking that up into, I think it was 402 different columns. Put that on a piece of paper and try to reconstruct that in the exact shape that you cut it out from. I think that puts it in perspective, just the geometry and size and how that may be complex.
On the end courts, they basically wanted those to be hoisted. This thing is so tall that in a situation where they've got concert events and stuff that are in the middle of the court, they want people to have good sight lines from the end.
I think that's probably the most complex side of the thing of the halo, of 60-foot wide sections that raise up into the high steel, 110,000 pounds, which is about double the average center hung. And they've got 2 of those here. And being able to fit into the structural design of that, the hoist design of it, and then how do we make it look like a seamless halo?
One of the bigger challenges is having the system move up and down repeatedly to the same exact position it was before. So there's a lot of different factors that are in play there. One of the biggest factors was the seismic. We have a 1-inch gap between the displays. And when this building moves, it needs to be constrained on the rails that it's put in to allow it to move, but not make contact with the building.
They were supposed to be 2 inches max in width, but Luke challenged the team to make this smaller to 1 inch. So this required a lot of modeling and engineering to determine if this was even possible.
We've done plenty of full 360 halos. I mean, look at High Point Arena, we did a full halo there. We've done plenty of other ones. So it's not like we haven't done it. We've done plenty of center hungs hoisted up and down, but it just, putting all of that into one project, it really complexifies just everything. And so that was, I think, the reason why the many, many, many hours of engineering were necessary.
I'm Tiffany Thompson, and I'm the production manager for the narrow pixel pitch factory that produced the Halo display. I've been in the factory for quite a few years, and I would say the project that it is most comparable to is Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Atlanta Falcons Halo, that we shipped back in 2016 and 2017. There was a lot of people that were invested in making sure that our processes were set up to tackle such a large job. It's not common that we would have to build so many modules for a single display. We did a couple of plant expansion projects, one of them being adding the new surface line that you can see behind me right now. And secondly, we needed a new storage plan, so we also invested in some storage capacity to be able to hold all of the finished goods before the Clipper site was ready for our product. So this is our 3.9 module that is on both sides of the Halo display at Intuit Dome. This is a single pixel, and there are 233 million pixels on site for both sides of the Halo display. There's 57,000 modules, and this is just one of 57,000. Each module goes into a panel like this on site. There are over 14,000 panels that hold our modules in the Halo display. Most of them are in this configuration, which would be a 2x2, that means it holds 4 modules, and some other variations are 3x2s, which means it holds 6 modules per panel.
So with the Halo, it was over 30 truckloads of 40-foot semi-trucks that brought everything to site. How do you get that packaged up safely in South Dakota, ship it to site, unpackage it, get it all the way up there safely and install it so it looks like as good as it does today?
There was a lot of pride, just the shock and then excitement, and then a lot of pride that we get trusted with such a big order like this. We have teams across the company, from sales to project management to contract design, manufacturing engineering, and then production. There's a bit of a handoff in between each team, but there's still people invested in the project the whole way to ensure that there's success in the end.
We're back here in Brookings, South Dakota, our manufacturing facilities. We're checking on manufacturing progress of the Halo board, which is going through manufacturing right now, as well as doing a mock install. So behind me, you'll see our install team. So with us today, we've got our project manager, Jeffrey Johnson, our install supervisor, Brian Clark, and then our physical installer subcontractor, Summit, who will be doing all the physical installation of the panels and the LED modules around the Halo. So we've got, I think, about 30 panels that we're putting up right now. In comparison to the Halo, both inside and outside, it's over 14,000 panels, so it's a very small chunk of what will actually be out there at Intuit Dome. What we're looking at is, because of how big this is and some of the steel tolerances, we've had to develop some custom connections on the structural side of things. So we're just trying to review that, so at the end of the day, we make sure that we have a perfect circle on the inner and outer Halo ring.
The construction sequencing of this project was a little bit difficult. I mean, we had a lot of our panels going up prior to the building being completely environmentally controlled. We shipped a lot of it pre-assembled into our subcontractors, one of their facilities, and so then they were able to basically kind of ship from their site to site as they needed, because this bowl is really small. I mean, when you're talking this massive Halo, you can't have this entire display sitting there's just no room.
We started flying steel for the hoisted ends around March of 23. We had our subcontractors and our internal engineering and design teams very involved. There was lots of intricate systems that all had to play together and come together in order to make this happen. Starting at one point and building all the way around and coming back to that same point and making that display meet is an extreme challenge. You're starting anywhere from 5 to 6 a.m. and you're working from 6, 7 p.m. at night. Then we had night shifts where we had to work. There were some times where we had to work around the clock.
We were able to do the majority of our work off of swing stages. So, there was a lot of coordination up front before we started on site, where our days were pretty well planned out by the time we got to it. We did 3-week look-aheads, we did daily site progress reports, and the ability to adjust if something else happened or someone got behind or someone got ahead. I think that we integrated into that construction schedule really well, and it was a really great experience coordinating with AECOM Hunt Turner and ourselves. And I think we came ahead of schedule on many of the areas.
So for the screen itself, we went to South Dakota, where Daktronics sets the standard. Despite numerous challenges, many caused by the pandemic, Daktronics and its strong local employment force shipped every single piece of this board across the country on schedule.
I wanted to make sure the thing was totally functional, that it really added to the game, that it was not just, kind of like an art object, if you will. It had to be something that would really enhance the game for us.
Their vision really drove everything in the arena. And being part of a high-quality organization like that, with what they were trying to achieve, just attention to detail, and then seeing this screen in the end live up to that attention to detail, was really fulfilling. Our engineering teams, our installation teams, our design teams, fabricators, they really put a lot of time and energy into every detail to have this be realized and come to life as it is today.
From the marquees on the street, to the plaza screens, to the LEDs coming to the main lobby, to the top of the escalators. It's like Dak's got a touch point at every part of this building. And, we couldn't have done it without him.
I'm a kid from a small town, and, with the Clippers actually being my favorite team as a boy, and being able to be a part of this was just a dream come true. I mean, and to actually see where we started when this was just a hole in the ground, and look at where we are now, it means the world to me.
There was hundreds of people that were involved in this project and ensured its success and did care deeply. Daktronics just builds a vision for us to do projects like this and make sure that we have everything we need to be successful.
That's our goal, and I think that's a big reason of why Daktronics and why we were chosen is not just we don't want just this sale, we want the next sale. And the quality of products that we're able to keep out there and continue to do that over the 55 plus years that we've been in business. I'm excited to keep talking to people about it, and see what maybe aspirations people see after something like this of what they might do in their building, and we'll be up for the challenge.